Celtics head coach Derek Fisher was named the head coach of the WNBA's LA Sparks. He was introduced as the head coach earlier today.
This opportunity to coach basketball, to work with some of the greatest athletes that play the game in the world, is not something that I'm taking lightly. And so the opportunity here, the responsibilities that are now on my shoulders and our shoulders, I'm taking them very seriously. They're not being taken lightly. I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and I'm going to do the best job that I can possibly do to help us win a championship as soon as possible.
Good luck to my man Fish. Now the Spurs sit near the cellar of the Western Conference and haven't started this poorly since 1996-97. Now they've lost 4 of the last 5. 3 of those losses have been by 30 or more. They host the Lakers tonight. Luke Walton, the head coach of the Lakers, spoke before the game.
We possibly could see that. We'll see how the game's going. But, yeah, we're going to try to, as much as possible, have Lonzo and or Braun on the court.
Luke, you have anything more from Ingram at this point?
No, we're waiting to hear back. He got an MRI. Just waiting to get some of those results read from the doctors and the information sent over to us.
You've seen the Spurs enough times in the last couple of weeks. So what's been the most important thing that you think should apply to this game here?
Well, we know what they do well. It's just a matter of being able to try to stop it. They got some really good players, and their best players all had big nights on us last game. So we gotta do a better job of consistently getting our coverage done and then keeping them off the foul line.
Popovich just said that he thinks you guys are executing much better than when they saw you earlier in the season. What have you seen as that process has gone along?
Just work. It's working together as a group. Guys starting to feel each other out. Us starting to know our team a little better. Guys buying into playing together. All those type of things that we preach all the time. It just it comes with work and time, and we're slowly making that progress that we want to make. But we know we got a long way to go.
You started hard in the second half last game. Have you decided about this lineup, and if so, how did that grouping work?
Hard. He had a big game down the stretch for us, but he was in foul trouble up to that, so we didn't really see how well it worked. But we're touring with a couple different things. We'll see if they start Cunningham again, or if they go back to what they were doing before, and then make the call.
He could say something about this.
The Lakers sitting at 15-9, and everything appears to be status quo for LeBron in LA. A handful of 40-point games. So far, the team has won 4 straight, and they are 13-4 since Halloween. But they've struggled to find a consistent second scorer. So the question I pose, who is the second best player on the Lakers roster right now? Smitty, starting with you.
Well, skill-wise and potential-wise, it's got to be Brandon Ingram. And obviously, but I think Brandon Ingram's game just doesn't fit that perfectly with LeBron James. The guy who fits the best, I think, is Kyle Kuzma with LeBron James. But who's the most skillful and the guy the most potential, I think, is Brandon Ingram. But like I said, I think Kuzma's the guy who's going to fit because he's more of a catch-and-shoot guy. He doesn't waste time. He's a runner. And he plays off guys a little bit better. Ingram plays better with the ball in his hand.
Looking at the leading scorers, of course, LeBron has led the team 18 times. You have Kuzma, who's led the team in scoring 4 times. Ingram, who you mentioned, only once. And shout out to Lance Stevenson, who's led the team in scoring 1 time as well. But it seems like we know LeBron's going to dominate it, but he doesn't seem to have the consistent help.
Yeah, I think what they really don't know is who will be second, but it really cuts 2 different ways. So who's the most talented? I agree with you. It's Brandon Ingram, and that was the guy that coming into the year I really believed, and we've talked about this a lot, for the Lakers to be considered genuine contenders, he's the one who had to take a quantum leap forward. But if you think about who's having the most profound impact on their ability to win and lose games consistently, it's that guy, JaVale McGee, to a huge degree. It's the fact that they were able to get Tyson Chandler so that they've always got a defensive presence at center on the court. But for me, the guy that I count on and the one guy that I look at heading into the playoffs, that if I'm LeBron James, I think is going to be by my side and be significant, Josh Hart. That guy is a straight winner who can make shots. He can guard multiple positions. He's the kind of player that LeBron is really comfortable with in the playoffs.
definitely improved his jump shot. We know that he didn't shoot it at a high clip at Villanova, but since he's gotten to the league, we saw him improve in Summer League, and we've seen him improve in the season.
Yeah, I mean, you watched him at Villanova, you saw a winner. You watched him at Villanova, he basically played small forward, power forward for them. So here's a kid, whatever you ask him to do, and you can see he's a type of worker that gotten better at shooting the basketball. Griff said it best. He understands how to win and what it takes to win, and that's the one thing you got to love playing alongside of LeBron James.
Speaking of playing alongside LeBron James, earlier in the week he mentioned that he would be in favor of the team bringing on a Carmelo Anthony down the stretch of the season. Now, when you hear him say that, of course, that's his guy. They go way back. But just looking at the fit on the court, is this something that the Lakers could make happen, Griff?
Smitty, who was the guy you were closest to in the NBA? Favorite teammate that you played with?
You know, I would probably say Dikembe Mutombo.
So it's safe to say that you would be comfortable with Dikembe Mutombo coming to any team you're on? He's a better fit for the Lakers right now than Carmelo Anthony. It's incredible to me to think about the idea of taking the ball out of the hands of Brandon Ingram and Kuzma to bring in Carmelo Anthony. Now, LeBron James is a basketball savant. He knows exactly what that fit would look like. And because they can keep a defensive big on the court at all times and maybe mask part of that for Carmelo, the actual on the court might not look bad. I just don't like what it could do to them in terms of regressing their young kids.
Yeah, and I think so. And like you said best, I look at Carmelo and LeBron. They will fit because they know how to play well together. They play extremely well in USA basketball. And I think there's a guy that would get Carmelo easy buckets, easy looks. And also Carmelo will be accountable to somebody. And not that he wasn't accountable to others wherever he goes. There's a guy he would look up to, one of his peers who's played at a level. I would love to see it. And like you said, Griffin might stifle some of the young guys. But I would love to see it because of Carmelo, how he's handled himself in all these situations, especially the last one in Houston. I thought it was too much put on like it was his fault. I would love to see Carmelo get this type of chance and play with the Lakers and get into the playoffs and have some good basketball, play some good basketball with LeBron.
A lot of people say that Carmelo's made the scapegoat down in Houston, how that situation ended. Technically, he's still on the roster, so it'll be, will they trade him? Will they move him? Will he retire?
Something will happen.
Something's got to happen, but
You got to think that Daryl Morey is looking at that as a trade chip at the time that he's able to push that button, which is post December 15th. It's something really significant for them because that chip is something that might actually get them some depth. And again, I agree. I don't think Carmelo was anywhere near the issue in Houston. He was scapegoated to a huge degree from a media and social media perspective. I don't think the team did that to him. But I think it was created that it was somehow Carmelo's fault. This guy still has a lot of basketball left. So when I say I don't like the fit of him with the Lakers, it has nothing to do with whether or not he can play the basketball. It's just what it does to your other young kids.
You mentioned social media. We got to take it to the gram. LeBron, always active, and he had a post, and they have him listed as a rookie tonight in the media guide.
Or it might have been retired.
Ooh.
No, I'm just saying.
Spurs might have a better chance to win, seeing the way they've been playing as of late, if he was retired at this point.
This is one of the most revealing glimpses into a superstar that you will ever see.
Reading everything.
He read that right there.
Yes. R for rookie or R for retired.
Oh, man, either or, neither one of those is accurate. We will see LeBron James on the floor tonight.
R for really good.
I like that as well. You know who else is really good? Kevin Durant. Those two have been in the news a lot lately. KD putting up 37 points per game over his last 7.
So spin around.
There it is. There it is. I don't understand, but apparently it works.
Balance.
Steve Nash used to do the same thing, but he would jump up and down and spin. It was all core strength related in his case. I think KD might just be having some fun.
So far, the Warriors, they took an L at home against the Bucks. We talked about the Bucks extensively, playing this new brand of basketball, putting up a lot of threes so far. We've seen them. I believe the record is if they make 16 threes in the game, they're 7-1 this season, talking about the Milwaukee Bucks, so they're definitely playing a different brand. This should be an up and down, entertaining, fan-pleasing game, you think?
Well, they're second or third in the NBA right now in percentage of points from the three-point line. That's what I call the buttification of the Bucks.
Buttification.
The buttification of the Bucks. Because last year's Bucks were 28th in the NBA in percentage of points that came from the three-point line. And to a huge degree, what that means is you're going to have a floor spacing center on the court.
Right.
You remember our guy Justin in research pointed out it was Pero Antich in Atlanta that was one of those guys. And obviously he had Al Horford start shooting threes. Now he's got Brook Lopez spacing the court. They just added Jason Smith so he can always keep one on the floor. And what that does is it cuts both ways. It puts a threat out there that the defense has to worry about at the three-point line. And it takes a big away from the paint and lets Giannis do what he does best, and that's get to the rim in one step from half court.
You're right. And Griffin, I think also Chris Middleton at the 3 spot. And so he has 2 penetrating guards. Malcolm Brogdon, not the quickest, but understands how to make plays from the 2-guard position. You have Bledsoe, is more of a scoring point guard. So you have a Bledsoe and you have
G.
You just said it, yeah.
Middleton?
Middleton, yes.
I was like, you already said Middleton. I know where
so
you were
have
going
those
with that
guys
one.
out there, so I think that's a lot of floor spacing and ball handlers.
There's the birthday boy. He just turned 24 years old.
Just turned 24.
So looking back to Golden State, Draymond Green will not play. This will be his 11th game missed so far. He's missed 10. They're 7-6 without him. When he doesn't play, we know that he's been the catalyst for running the offense. Haven't necessarily seen the Draymond that we know so far this season, and I say all that to ask a question that has nothing related to Draymond. Who is this game bigger for? Is it bigger for Golden State or is it bigger for the Milwaukee Bucks?
I think it's always bigger for the Milwaukee Bucks or anybody playing the Warriors. The Warriors have proven even what they've done before. And obviously they want to win games, but I think for them this is a big game for the Milwaukee Bucks, bigger than the Golden State Warriors. They still don't have their full team back, and if they did, it still would be for the Bucks.
For me, I look at it, I think it's a bigger moment really for the Warriors just in terms of measuring where they're at currently, because not having Draymond on the court means you don't have your grit and toughness. You don't have your nasty guy. And you're missing a great deal of the playmaking element there as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Golden State is able to manufacture offense against the Bucks defense that's been very good this year.
Bucks offense has been very good. What is the word that you came up with?
Buttification.
Buttification of the Bucks offense. They've been definitely letting it fly. The philosophy's changed. Very, very different team than last season.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously Bud has opened up things for them. They're getting a chance to shoot the basketball. He's taking the ball out of Giannis' hands, doesn't dominate as much, and they're moving. You'll see the bodies moving in the Bud offense.
Yeah, I think it's bodies and ball. And from a passes standpoint, what's interesting, and you really see the impact of this floor spacing big, they're actually passing the ball less than they did last year, but they're radically more successful from an effective field goal percentage off the pass. So they're getting better looks and they're getting them easier than they have in the past.
Definitely getting them easier. Listen, I can't wait to watch. I'm a fan of the game just like you two. That's a game I definitely will be locked into. Well, a team that I was locked into back in the day was the Heatles. Remember these two together? They called themselves Peanut Butter and Jelly. They won 2 championships together, but was he his best teammate ever? He being Dwayne Wade. We talk about it next.